Maryland lawmakers continue their push for complete federal funding to rebuild the Key Bridge.
Congressman Kwesi Mfume is one of the main sponsors, but says the bill isn't moving as fast as he'd like.
Fox 45's Keith Daniels joins us live in studio tonight with some of those snags. Keith?
Well, Mary and Kai, the federal government has already kicked out about $60 million toward the cleanup and clearing of the Port of Baltimore, but much more money will be needed to rebuild the bridge. And tonight, old-fashioned pork barrel politics could be slowing down the process to access those much-needed funds. At the Port of Baltimore, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, no longer standing for now. The commitment to rebuild the bridge, top priority. Maryland Congressman Kwesi Mfume.
These are efforts to jumpstart that process.
On Talk Radio Wednesday with an update on the Baltimore Bridge Relief Act, proposed legislation which would federally fund 100% of the bridge rebuild, which has a price tag of just under $2 billion.
Standalone bill is making its way through the Congress, and as anybody will tell you, that's a slow process.
Also considered Mfume's push with co-sponsor Republican Representative Andy Harris for an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act. The shortcut approach, he says, to ensure the funds as the standalone bill works its way through the House, a bill that seems to be moving at a snail's pace. Mfume with what's holding up the process.
I think more than anything else, there were 330 amendments brought up for the bill. And
wow.
I can't explain what's going on in the head of some of my Republican colleagues, except that they probably don't want to deal with that many amendments.
Frustration, perhaps, over so-called pork barrel legislation. Political analyst John Deedy over the issue and how it can often affect the process.
Everyone has an interest they care about in their own district. We'll put a bunch of stuff in together where someone says, I may not like this thing, but I like this thing. And, you know, part of the idea of compromise is when everyone walks away a little unhappy.
Mfume believes something else might be at play, notably because of what President Joe Biden did, what he said when he visited the port just days after the bridge's collapse.
Folks, finally, we're going to move heaven and earth to rebuild this bridge as rapidly as humanly possible.
The real issue here, though, is that there are politics involved, and there are some who would rather this not be seen as a Joe Biden victory, if you know what I mean. Yep. It's a political fight. I mean, make no mistake about that. And I'll leave it there because I'm still negotiating.
I understand.
Well, despite the slow process, Congressman Mfume says he's confident those federal dollars will come for the rebuild. Money, he says, that will go back into the federal treasury after litigation of insurance claims. In the studio, Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.